want to say 4 months. Yeah, but life just be lifing. Today I'm just gonna work on comms while listening to Mujin's new video. Well, it's not like super new, but just another art, uh, little thing going on, and I start. As you can see, I started already, kind of on accident. Well, not on accident. I was listening to it, and I got invested. I'm like, oh wait, I haven't started. I haven't started. Okay. Anyway, just working on a comm for um just a client and listening to Muchin's react. Personally, I when I draw, I can't do it with just like music or something in the background. Like I need active like I'll listen to a video or I'll listen to a Netflix series on in the background, but I can't just listening to straight music or like a podcast. I don't I don't know if that's just me, like a my brain type of thing, or if it's like an actual like anyone. I would love to hear if anyone else is the same, but personally for me, my brain just can't. It's like no. I need to hear like active listening in the background while I draw. Don't know what it is, don't know why it is, it just is. And okay.
I will document her dated posts and artworks as well as conversations with her. This is where we get to the next section titled Documentation. Gami joined my Discord server around the start of October 2025. Shortly after, some of my members messaged me privately to warn me about her AI usage and her past drama, since I don't allow Gen AI in my server. I didn't want to assume things, so I took a good look at Gami's artworks and then decided it was best to ask her directly than to jump to conclusions. The messages are in Turkish, but you will have translations. Translations are in purple. Some parts are blurred due to privacy of third parties and to not bring back past drama that has already been settled. Alright, so here we can see Ruru asking in Turkish, 3 things were brought up to me. And the people who brought them up will remain anonymous to avoid creating any drama. I think they mentioned these issues because they became worried when they saw that you joined my server and they felt the need to warn me. So the first 2 issues are blurred, I guess they have nothing to do with this drama, and then the third one is, the last issue is the claim that you are tracing using AI. Of course, there's no proof of that, and proving it is almost impossible these days. It's because both Clip Studio and Procreate have a feature to hide the reference layer when speed painting. I looked at your drawings a bit, even though we follow
Hi, Dad. Hope you're doing well. I'm working on your comm actually right now on stream. My brain just can't like my brain can't like do work like draw or anything without active things. Like I can't listen to music or podcasts in the background. My brain just needs active. So yeah, I'm listening to Mujin's new video and
each other. I'd never actually stalked your drawings before, and I personally found a few of your drawings suspicious, which is why I wanted to ask you. If you want, I can show you the reasons for my suspicions through the drawings and we can discuss it in more detail. This is when Gami would reply with, the AI tracing issue also arose because I was heavily referencing. I'm constantly sharing how I draw in the process anyway, I stopped referencing heavily.
I personally don't understand the concept of I personally don't understand the concept of like tracing or referencing from AI. Like unless you're like obviously you can't steal AI because you can't copyright AI. But you know like when people they sort of I don't know how to explain it. But like AI is known for having inaccuracies, like anatomical inaccuracies. So what I just don't particularly understand what you can actually learn from referencing AI. Like um it's not atomically accurate. Like, if you want to, like, for example, there are several websites where, like, actual model, like, human people take pictures in several poses with several props and everything, or you can use a 3D model, or, you know, there are several references of actual things that would be actually anatomically correct. And referencing AI just seems so counterproductive to me because, like, it doesn't. Yeah, absolutely. It's like you can absolutely. Well, I feel like, hmm. For example, things like colors and lighting, I understand why some people look at AI, like existing AI, like what they want to reference like that. But anatomically, I don't understand personally. I don't really support AI art. It's just not something, just a personal thing. I don't. But I don't know. It's just, mm.
Quite a while ago. The document would continue. Since she claimed she stopped heavily referencing quite a while ago, I showed her some of her recent illustrations that I found suspicious. So in this drawing, we can see some sort of a puppy girl laying down on the bed, and the feet look very oddly suspicious, as if made by AI. Ruru also.
Yeah, she is an amazing artist. She's truly beautiful art. Um, like it's I understand why some people who aren't in this sphere or want to get in this sphere don't understand why so many VTubers are against AI or don't particularly understand cuz like VTubing is built on the backs of artists. I'm not like I'm not trying to like I mean, like I understand why some people want to they like on first impressions they think, "Oh, AR it's fine because it's also art. I can learn from that." I think it's more of like a needing to explain. And also, I personally have a problem with AI ethically, like obviously, but hmm, when it comes to like I don't understand the interest of AI art. Unlike, there's no unless. It's like, I guess people who don't draw, people who aren't very like artistic or don't want to bother learning. Like, truthfully, I'm sorry, I keep pausing the video. I just truthfully don't understand.
Felt the need to mention that even to this day, this drawing remains the banner of her Patreon, right? And I mean, seriously, like these feet look very AI, like very suspicious. Ruru would then say she deleted this art post after this conversation, but still uses it as her banner on Patreon.
Also, obviously, I know that human errors can exist. Um, like obviously human errors can exist in art. Like we're humans. Of course we're going to make a mistake. But it's I feel like there are times where you can like there like more often than not you can tell the difference between a human mistake and an AI caused mistake. I think that's fair. Like seeing like thinking AI like AI is not going like for example, well, I guess we'll see this, but like some AI. Okay, so when I was first starting to get into VTubing and wanted my own model, I was gonna be a P. I was not gonna. I was a PNG tuber, and I commissioned an artist. Really loved her work. Really, at the time, I really loved her work. I thought it was very cute, very adorable. Um, and when I tried to ask for changes, she was very resistant to it. And later, I find that that person had used AI. Very disappointed, very sad. Like I said, it was a PNG tuber, so it was relatively cheaper than like a full-on live 2D model, but it wasn't what I wanted. And they were very resistant to any changes I asked for. And I just don't see a point. I just truly don't see a point in commissioning someone who uses AI, because they'll be resistant to changes and you'll likely not get what you want or what you're looking for. I don't know. That's just a personal thing.
I raised my concerns about how her anatomy knowledge and coloring skills didn't match. Some parts, like feet and hands, are drawn messily despite the rest having pretty good anatomy. This is common with AI tracers/users. Her art skills also suddenly spiked after some point. This led me to believe these art pieces weren't only referenced, but one-to-one or traced.
Dry skin? Not in my house. Ivory's richest moisturizing body wash is crafted with the Shea Butter Blend, soothing the driest skin all day.
Okay.
Now, moisturized skin runs in the family. Ivory Moisturizing Body Wash.
It's just like a very cool way to prototype extremely quickly. If I go here in Figma, I just have this design here that I pulled together.
So on the left, we can see a drawing made by Gami on September 2024. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's decent. It's nothing like incredible, right? It's not something that will belong in a gallery anytime soon, but it is what it is. However, 3 months later, on December 2024, she would make a fan art of Yaklesh, a well-known artist and VTuber. And here we can...
So, I'm looking for... Here it is. So, this is like... Of course, Death, I genuinely really... I'm feeling very inspired by doing this comp. It's very... I get to test new sort of layouts, and I'm really, like, you know, pushing myself more to learn more masculine, like autonomy and stuff. So I'm genuinely enjoying this. I'm very thankful you gave me the opportunity. But for example, if you want to like get a pose reference, I literally Frankensteined just a bunch of poses to help me get the pose that I'm looking for to reference. Like that's okay. To like Frankendoll something, like references to get the pose that you're looking for, that's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that in my personal opinion. Like, it's because, like, obviously you're not going to always find like the full-on exact reference that you're looking for or anything. So if you got a Frankendoll it, by all means. Like, I don't personally see a problem with that. But I feel like you're a lot more likely to get something anatomically correct by Frankendolling something like this than by using AI. Personal opinion.
Truly see the incredible difference. This is progress that usually takes place over years, and there she was just, you know, making it look easy as if she just learned everything in 3 months. We also see another example of a drawing that looks really good, but the fingers are just weird. Something that AI infamously does all the damn time. The document then continues.
I think there's nothing wrong with being the idea man rather than like the full-on artist. Like a lot of webtoons and like webcomics that I'm aware of like are collaboration, like well, the ones that I read personally. Like, it's an artist, it's a writer, it's like a translator, it's a colorist, it's a bunch of people working together for an idea. I don't think there's any problem with that. I think that's awesome, actually. It's just finding the right person that you like, you know, that's the style you're looking for and that wants to work with you. Like, by all means, I think that's perfectly fine.
Will probably understand that the drawing above, now deleted, has pretty good anatomy overall, yet the same level of skill doesn't apply to the hand. This issue is common in her drawings. She also came to my server a couple times to share her screen while drawing to prove herself, but she never sketched something from scratch. It was always something that was already drawn and halfway colored. She then sent me a speed paint as proof, but the speed paint didn't have a sketch and she drew things mostly without guidelines. For example, drawing the lines for the legs without a guide and other similar things. It was not very convincing, as you can just hide the reference layer and pretend like you drew it. So that's another thing with tracers, right? The idea that they just draw things out of thin.
Also, I was very confused about this, but like Ibis Paint, Procreate, or Clip Studio, like you can hide the reference layer. I'm like with the eyeball thing I'm aware of, but like hide it from the recording? How is that even possible? I don't understand. And like I was confused about it, so I googled it, and I still didn't see it. I just still didn't see anyone explaining it. So I'm like, what are you talking about?
When even some of the best artists in the world will still use reference layers. They don't immediately just draw a face and eyes like it's nothing. No, they'll actually take the time to reference where everything will be and then do that. I then showed her art on the right. God damn, I gotta censor that. Saying drawing something like this requires a lot of skill, and people who draw in color like she did on the left cannot draw like the right picture too at the same time. These two drawings are a few months apart despite there being a huge skill gap. So again, the same thing we saw in 2024, we're seeing again in 2025. In August, she would draw something that clearly has bad anatomy, right, if we're talking about the elbow and the hand, as well as amateur-like coloring compared to the one on the right.
The other reference image that was female, if it was seen as more sexualized, I can see why. I can see why someone. Do I personally think it's more sexualized? Not particularly. I personally don't. I mean, I don't. I just my my preference in that category is someone like Lady D from from Resident Evil. Like, that's my type. That's my preference. I think, like, it would be fair. I guess it wouldn't be, like, a reach to say it is a bit more sexualized from the male model. But, I personally don't. That's just a me thing. I personally don't. But if someone else saw it that way, I don't think it's a stretch to say that.
Which was posted just a few months later and looks insane. This is what you get after like drawing for 10 years, man. It's wild. And it's a shame that you can't really fully see it. Sorry, it's YouTube, not me. She then kept insisting that she knows how to draw, arguing she has traditional art she can show. And here we can see yet another conversation in Turkish between Ruru and Gami taking place in October 2025, after Gami had posted that very interesting drawing that I had to censor. Ruru would say, I repeat, this isn't about not being able to draw. That's why it's harder to distinguish when artists use it. But for example, when we go back in your gallery, there aren't any anatomy drawings like this or close to it. It's as if you suddenly drew it so well. Especially if you go back to before the year AI became widespread, the drawings look quite different. It might be one of the drawings you heavily referenced, as you said. It might be referenced from AI. To which Gami would say, yes, I'm referencing AI. The document would continue.
I mean, if
here
you
she
want
admits to
you can go
referencing
ahead and
AI
send
for
it
her
to
work
me. I don't have a problem with it.
She doesn't disclose this on her VGen or any of her socials. It's well known that using AI in any way isn't accepted by VGen. She also sells commissions there, meaning she has been and still is selling AI-assisted artwork without disclosing it. So far, she had admitted to using AI for references. I asked to see the references she used to check for tracing. Here we can see Ruru saying, can I see the reference used for this image? Gami would reply with, I don't save the photos, Ruru. Sad face. To which Ruru would say, using a one-to-one reference.
I'm sorry, but cringe. Absolute cringe. I also want to do like a male version of my model too, just cause. But I'm glad I could be helpful, I guess. I'm sorry, but cringe, because I there are people on VGen, like quote unquote artists on VGen, that get codes that get verified when obviously they don't actually draw their own art. And am I a little petty? Am I a little salty because I've tried again and again and I haven't been able to do it? Absolutely, yes, I am a little petty, I am a little salty, but you know, still, like, it's not just me. There are other artists that have tried again and again to get a VGen code. And it's sad, it's disappointing, and it's frustrating. Wait, I don't want to take away the code for... I would seriously appreciate it, though. I genuinely, seriously would. I want to say that, though. But I don't want anyone to feel pressured. But, like, obviously, like, yeah, because they're like, I remember for a while I kept trying on different creators posts that were saying like, oh, submit your art and like I'll pick one person or two people to get a code. I'd sincerely appreciate that if you could do that, but again, it's your friend's choice, completely their choice. If they say no, I 1,000% would respect that. But and then VGen gets obviously like more and more people selling AI art and such, and I'm like, that just makes you look worse, and then takes away opportunity from actual artists. So it's a mess. It's so messy.
Reference isn't good either because it's not much different from tracing, to which Gami would say I realized that too. After that, I completely removed that
Yeah.
incident, which is
Thank
referencing,
you.
from my life. Now I just pose in my head and use 3D models. Ruru would then say, it looks like you're regretting using heavy references. Gami would say, no, seriously, being called AI really hurt my pride. Ruru says, if you take a one-to-one reference from AI, it's perfectly normal for people to say that it looks like AI because it becomes AI indirectly. That's when Gami would say, I never thought of it that way because I drew it myself, but you're right. The document would continue and say she didn't have any references to show, and here she says she thought because she redrew the AI pictures it still meant it was her own art. Despite all that, it looked like she regretted using AI in her workflow. But even after saying she stopped and being associated with AI hurt her pride, she still had drawings that were AI assisted posted on her socials like Twitter, VGen, and Patreon, of course undisclosed.
Like a pet peeve, I guess is the word, for me, is when someone uses AI in the art process at all in any manner, and they don't disclose it. Thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate your support. But you like just commissioning me and letting me have the opportunity to do an overlay and screen for you is already amazing support. I hope you know. Their process and don't disclose it to the clients, to me or the commissioner. That's just so deceptive, and it's so personally, professionally and ethically, I find it disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I cannot. It's so unprofessional. At the very least, it's unprofessional, and at worst, it's morally apprehensible. It's I don't whatever.
Conversation continuing with Ruru asking, but if this situation upsets you and bothers you so much, why are these drawings?
It's so okay. Like I also feel the money thing. Like, bestie, I'm a college student and I am looking for a second job. Like, do not apologize. Like, but it's whatever. I've rambled.
Still on
Whatever.
your page. People who see them can just dismiss them as AI. Gami would reply to this saying, I don't usually have a habit of deleting posts. Sad face. I generally post them and then forget they exist. But your post of yours from May 2025. The no-name fan art looks like it's referenced. Unless you decided to stop using AI 2 to 3 months ago or so.
I am currently a junior, actually, before I go to my 4 year. I am a psychology student, and the field I'm looking into has a lot of law into it. So I'm taking so a lot of like psychology, biology, and law classes currently. But I actually don't mind. They're actually very interesting. My professors are very kind and understanding with me balancing everything. So they're very kind, very wonderful. I am very appreciative of all of them.
This post makes your claim about you quitting using AI not convincing, because you posted the AI referenced art for personal promotion.
Aw,
Gami would
thank
reply
you.
and
I'm
say, I
flattered.
talked to No Name about the situation too, I explained myself, I also apologized if it looked that way. Ruru would specify in the document in parentheses, she did not apologize, confirmed with No Name. Gami would then say, and yes, I quit about 2 months ago, to which Ruru in the document in parentheses would say, which means she says she quit using AI in August 2025. Gami would end this conversation by saying, I understand how it looks, I'll remove the images I heavily referenced, I don't want to look like an artist who uses AI.
What's an ECE? Oh, that actually sounds really good. Like when it comes to like oh. Oh, actually that sounds really cool. That actually sounds really cool and really useful.
This one or this one?
I feel like that's
Sam, are you cheating on?
The document continues and says,
I feel like that's a good idea and like a good opportunity. I hope it goes well for you. I sincerely hope the best for you.
she then went to her profile and deleted some of her artwork on her Twitter, but she did not delete any from her VGen and Patreon, which should be prioritary since it's where clients look. So here you go. Under pressure, she decided to delete the very AI-inspired artworks from her Twitter, but not from the platforms where people pay her money to draw. So essentially, she did nothing to fix the situation. So Ruru in the document would continue with, she said she posted on my Twitter feed and wanted to check. I saw that her VGen still had verified commissions that had AI involved in the workflow in her portfolio, and she posted suspicious art again. But to this day, she still uses AI on some of her commissions in her VGen portfolio
That's
and still posts on her
amazing.
art.
I
She's also running a
sincerely hope the best for
Patreon
your
where she shares her
college.
NSFW art, which is also AI
Student loans are
assisted.
no
This is
joke.
one of her most recent YCH commissions on VGen, September 19th, 2025. This was created long before August and has the same skill gap as the examples above, so I'm positive this is AI assisted. She deleted this YCH offer on VGen, yet still does commissions with this YCH to this day. So listen, just if you're curious, YCH means your character here, so they're custom commissions. One offer she had on her page was YCH elbow, right? So your character here with your character trying to touch their elbows. And you know, if someone with big boobs tries to touch their elbows, yeah, I think you get the point. This is why it's sensitive content. So here we'd see 3 different YCH arts. Okay, I
Sweet
have to
baby
definitely
Jesus.
censor that nipple. Okay, I'm saying this just to remind myself when I edit. But overall, the whole point
get
is that all
flashbangs
3
with
of these
titties.
art pieces were done after August 2025, and they're very heavily AI inspired. Oh my god, I actually know this VTuber. This is Alien Mixture, man. The document continues.
Sweet
She was
baby
posting
Jesus.
previews to gather her audience on Patreon. You can see this also doesn't look like her real art, so most likely AI assisted. So here we can see her posting on Twitter this sketch, right? 1 hour sketch, by the way. Saying, remove the pasties on Patreon. So if you go subscribe to her Patreon, you'll get to see this art fully nude. This was the appeal. And it's still up on her Patreon to this day, even after this document came out. The document would continue, doesn't use AI even though she makes ugly drawings. And we can see multiple different tweets she made targeting AI users, calling
No,
them
yeah,
out
that makes
and
sense.
saying AI and the artist is lying. Do not be deceived. Unless they show an actual time lapse, I'm not stupid.
Okay, pot calling the. Okay, so I'm an old lady. I'm a hag. I'm almost 30. But like, people on the internet aren't completely stupid. Like, do you think they wouldn't find out? And you kind of virtue signaling, like being anti AI while using like it. Were the brain cells in the room? It's okay.
Even including a drawing of her character with the shirt saying, fuck AI. The document would then say, she made this time-lapse post while still using AI in her work time-lapse of this drawing, with her character saying, fuck AI on the shirt. And I mean, it's very, very clear here, right? That she's just drawing as if she's tracing. There's no reference whatsoever. It's like she's a genius that knows exactly where to place the eyes, the mouth, everything without making a single mistake, right? Without any hint that this is actually a real drawing, as if she's
Cringe.
completely tracing an invisible layer here. Again, I really have to show you what an actual real time lapse looks like, okay? I already used this example before in another video, and I'll do it again, all right? It's this drawing right here, and this is its time lapse. So as you can see, it's a very messy process,
Artists
right?
watching
Nothing is
other
set in
artists'
stone
time-lapse make
until the
brain
very,
go
very end.
grrr,
Things are
like,
constantly
so
moving,
beautiful.
getting
It
scaled,
tickles the
getting
brain in the
cut.
best way.
This is what a real time lapse looks like. And with Gami's time lapse, we're not seeing that.
Oh, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate that.
That girl sucking on something, right, on her alt account where she posted NSFW, and someone would just straight up reply and say, this is AI made, don't call it art. The document would say, some people could already recognize the AI and call her out sometimes. This is how my Discord members knew because the Turkish community is introduction. This spreads fast.
I use Restream to stream on Twitch and YouTube, so whenever I end the stream, the VOD will still be on YouTube. So, yeah.
The next
I know,
section.
I really should
I will
get
now show the
premium.
DM shown in the document's introduction. This is when I reached out to No.
I should get premium, but bestie, it's tax season. I got student loans. I got... I gotta pay for food. I gotta pay for gas. I have premium on Spotify. And you know what? That's what matters.
No Name. Gami had told me that she had apologized to No Name about the fan art she did for her that looked like AI. Here are her DMs with No Name. The character she was drawing has very, in all caps,
No,
big
I
boobs,
used to have
like
YouTube Premium,
F-cup
and then
big.
my wallet
She
said,
didn't seem inclined to change her sketch,
"Oh,
using
you
a
were
weird
enjoying
excuse
that.
that
We
doesn't make
can't have
sense,
that."
possibly because the reference she's using had small breath. Gami, which then resulted in Gami admitting AI usage. This fan art was posted on the 29th of December, 2024, now deleted. So even before the confrontation, right, this was December 27th, 2024, Gami would send a sketch to No Name, and No Name would say, "Oh, Gami, what is your secret? How are you speeding like that? But Booba should be bigger." 3 days later, No Name would realize that, wait a second, this actually looks way better than Gami's usual drawings, and would ask the question, Gami...
No, I completely understand. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I salute. I salute you. Have fun through shifting through those.
Are you using AI as reference for your art? After Gami would admit that, No Name would say, make sure to use different references as well, otherwise you can accidentally train yourself doing the same mistakes AI does, LMAO. To which Gami would say, I would rather slip on ice than do AI mistakes on my own human-made art. I would never, LMAO. No Name was not informed until they asked. There isn't an apology as Gami claimed either. No Name does not support AI and states it publicly, so Gami made fan arts using AI for No Name, knowing they're against it. That's why No Name asked if Gami was using AI, since they also found Gami's art suspicious and wanted to check with her. All the artwork that was done for No Name is now deleted from Gami's profile. So look, so far, this already looks pretty damn bad for Gami, alright? But this next section that we're about to look at is titled...
Well, for me anyway, because I know that, I'm not gonna lie, VTubing, expensive hobby. Absolutely. No one's gonna look you in the face and tell you that it's not. Pre-made, I find using something like Suika's model, like her customizable model, saving up for stuff like that or other male models, I personally don't think it's a bad investment if you really want, but they're also really good, brain is braining. Other customizable or like pre-made models for free or very cheap. That's my personal thing. Like, it's just, I understand being on a budget though, but I also understand the desire to be creative and stuff, like to have your own signature design and stuff. So I completely understand that.
Artwork comparison, and I think you can kind of tell what we're about to get into here. This is where the document takes an in-depth look at showing us what her art used to look like before AI and how much it differed after AI. I need to censor that nipple again, just saying that for editing purposes. I cannot forget this. Anyway, this section would start with why I think Gami isn't only referencing, but referencing one-to-one or possibly tracing to this day. We'd get 3 reasons. The first one would be her art skills without using AI are vastly different from AI assisted.
Oh, I completely understand wanting like a rebrand, basically. Because actually before I was a red panda, I was a Gyeru evil magical girl. And then I rebranded, believe it or not. Yeah, absolutely. Like the idea will come out of knowing and be like, I'm feeling passionate about this. Let's do it.
The second one, she doesn't have any proper art videos showing her sketch phase, and her streams usually start from already half-done art. And the third reason, she doesn't show any of the images she says she's referencing from, so it's likely traced or one-to-one referenced. So here we can see that even after starting to reference art, she would still attempt to make her own art, right? trying to maybe mix it in with the AI assisted posts, but even then they were very noticeable, right? It's not like they just blended in effortlessly. Here's a drawing from November 19th, 2025, in which you can see a clear gap in skill compared to the one posted on December 1st, 2025, as if it was two.
University of Phoenix is built for real life. At some schools, to save money, you have to move fast and load up on courses.
The
We
ads
keep it
just want to
simple.
make me suffer.
Take one course at a time.
That's just a
with fixed,
personal goal.
affordable tuition.
Stay. It's exactly what it sounds like. Unlike chicken fingers, which are not what they sound like. When you hear hotels.
Huge
Different
bazongas.
people. We already saw the second example with fan art for Yoklash, but there will be way more examples here. I think the biggest difference here are the complex poses. She has a basic understanding of
Clearly.
anatomy, but
Bigger
not
boobas,
complex enough to
better
be able to
channel.
draw something like this effortlessly.
Bigger boobas,
This is, of course, without
bigger
us
audience.
mentioning the incredible shading, right? The rendering here that is usually only
Why does that remind me of Brighter from Has Been Hotel?
two drawings, which were both commissions on VGen. Okay, both of these were paid for. The first one, made in December
Welcome.
2024, looks to be somewhat her art style. It is a fairly simple drawing. The second one, though, made only 2 months afterwards, could have been AI assisted, most notably with the posing. The document would say, after saying she was going to delete her heavy reference from AI artworks, she deleted these art pieces from her Twitter. And yeah, if you're watching this with your own 2 eyes and not doing chores right now, you can very clearly see the massive, staggering difference between this kind of art style and the ones we just saw above that involved her using her actual own 2 hands without referencing AI. And also bear in mind, according to the document, this first image that we already saw earlier with the fucked up fingers was a paid commission. Someone paid money for this. Someone paid money for Gami to generate.
Dude, I'm sorry, I just get so art or draw without something in the background. Like, I can't listen to music or podcast, my brain's just like active. So we're watching and listening to Mujin's new video, and I'm salty, I'm petty, I want to kick this person in the shin very hard. I hope you get enough sleep. I can completely understand that. Just a good kick in the shins.
An art piece using AI. This is when we get to the conclusion. I am positive that Gami still uses AI in her workflow, despite saying she regrets it and that she quit in August 2025. As you can see the document, she was still posting AI-assisted commission work on December 1st, 2025. I think the customers and her followers deserve to have transparency on her workflow. Not everyone wants to buy AI
Life
art
is
or
too busy for
AI-assisted
sleep.
art. I hope this becomes an opportunity for her to finally come to Gami. I was quite happy to have a Turkish
Big
artist
booba
friend, and I
streamer.
really wanted to believe you. Since the Turkish art community is already constantly in chaos, it felt really nice to have someone to talk to. But as time passed by, I realized you weren't being honest with me or with yourself. I'm normally not a person who writes docs like these, but I felt secondhand responsibility about this
Who
since I'm
doesn't love
also
booba?
Turkish, from the same community. I really hope you can come clean. That's right. You can do anything you want in your life, guys, but never mess with a Turkish person's sense of identity and national pride. Otherwise, you're gonna have a Google Doc written about you. In any case, sometimes tracing it one-to-one, hell, I think sometimes she would just post it without really tracing anything. I mean, this Shy Lily drawing is crazy, bro. Like, there's no way she actually drew that when she was drawing things like this barely a year before. But overall, of course, the biggest reason for this document having been made is because she was charging people money, both on Patreon and VGen, all while promising human-made art. This is not the case here at all. But Ruru wasn't done yet. On February 19th, just a day after that initial doc had dropped, they would reply to their quote tweet and say, after this doc, some people reached out to me to tell their experiences with Gami, including ghosting, hosting raffles but not drawing the winner, etc. Read here. This leads us to the second Google Doc, in which people who actually hired her or worked with her exposed the terrible client-to-vendor relationships that they experienced, starting with the first section, rushed commission followed by ghosting. Vtuber Mochi Mochi have commissioned Gami on VGen after seeing her commission for another Vtuber in September 2024, asking for something that looked like this, right? The drawing on the left, something with that same style and type of rendering, which she got.
Oh, my last campaign, and I'm sad. Sad emoji. That would be fun. Just sounds so fun. It sounds so fun. Thing is, no one I no one I talk to plays D&D. I like tried to get my partner into it. Them to play with me. So, oh well. I'll find some people somewhere. But anyway, I had a thought. True, that is possible. If I find people ever interested in it, maybe I will. But it's obviously they're never gonna, like I said before, they're never gonna get what you want exactly. And I I'm upset at the opportunity lost for people who actually put time, effort, and training for their talent. And then people like this who are hiding in plain sight and virtue signaling to disguise themselves to take away this opportunity for others and take away people's money, basically scamming them. It's irritating the VTubing sphere and on VGen is very frustrating and disappointing thing. It sucks. It genuinely sucks. And sad emoji. I don't know.
On the right, I mean, can you even call this a sketch? Like, this is incomplete as fuck. It also barely looks anything like Mochi's sketch. When Mochi would message Gami on VGen, saying, I have a question about my surprise delivery. I ordered it based off the image I saw posted on your Twitter. When I went to see mine today, I was very unhappy about the quality. Is there a reason why the two photos are both so different in quality? I also noticed her bottom right thigh forgot to be colored and right below her thigh bracelet. And yes, that's true. I mean, this wasn't even colored, dude. Gami would reply with, she had a very filled up design. That is why I had to pay more attention. My personal opinion is that I shaded yours more, but if you are unhappy with same care. I circled the part of the thigh where it is missing color. It's just white. The mochi and the ears also feel rushed. You can say you shaded mine more, but the thighs are not shaded at all. I'm just a bit upset because I was really looking forward to this piece. Thank you for offering to retouch it. I really appreciate it. The document will continue. Unfortunately, after this point, Gami ghosted Mochi and the commission review period ended on VGen. Mochi didn't receive any touch-ups as promised or any updates. Mochi left a 1-star review. The document would also prove that Mochi actually paid for this commission, $45 for an incomplete sketch that doesn't even look passable. But I wish that's where it ended, because the next section features a giveaway winner that didn't get their art. The document would say, Gami and a couple of other artists had made a studio called Mellow Studio back in 2023, June. Gami was drawing, someone else was rigging the art, and they were offering VTuber assets, models, etc. Around January 2024, they created a chibi VTuber product. Raffle was held on the 7th of January 2024. The winner didn't get their model for 10 months. So they decided to text on October 19th, 2020.
First of all, it does. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity. Again, I keep saying that, but I genuinely mean it. Also, as someone when I auditioned for VTubing groups or anything, from what I personally seen, they've been less like prevalent compared to like, you know, when V Shoujo was a thing or when Nishi Sanji was in a better light before we knew what we knew now. And getting that opportunity and being really excited to get assets, to get like, to be part of something like that, while must be to finally be told you have this opportunity, you are going to get this chance to do it, and Shoujo from what we know, but like, not even for a corpo. I'm flattered. Thank you. I'll definitely talk to you in DMs later about that. But like, you're not, if these people who auditioned for this group, when they got to be part of it, they didn't. It's sad. It's disappointing. And to be let down by this by someone you really were thinking so positively of giving you an opportunity, I feel bad for them. I sincerely feel bad for them, and I hope that they are able to pursue this passion of VTubing elsewhere and are having a better experience than this.
2024. The winner ended up not getting their art after with Gami. Mellow Studio became inactive. The rigger also reached out to the winner. So here we can see the DMs between the winner and Gami. They reached out in October after 10 months, and they were very polite, by the way. Say, it will be happening. Yes, I have you in my calendar. I have picked back school, so I've been quite busy. The winner would say, oh, that's okay. Take your time. I was just curious. Thank you so much. 5 months later, in March 2025, the winner would reach out again saying, hello, I just wanted to check in. I in no way want to bother you. I'm just curious. So obviously very unprofessional and unacceptable.
Yeah.
And as the document would say, the rigger would end up reaching out to the winner on Twitter saying, yo, Gami hasn't even started drawing.
Separately from this opinion now, because this different ballpark. Clients reach out to people they commission. Like, when life happens or stuff happens and just like slips your mind, I completely understand. That happens. That's human. That's just life. But to overtly keep people in the dark, to get someone's hopes up like that is very, I feel really bad for those people. And I personally, from my personal experience, because I've been doing commission art for about 7 years now. I used to do it, welcome, Bone. Thank you. I appreciate you being here at all. But in that time, in the 7 years I've been doing commission art, I did it under a different name previously on Etsy, but there was one time where when I first started out, I did sketches that were like $5, or line art that was like $5 or $7. No, it started as $5 and then I raised the price to $7. I felt bad. I didn't want to raise my prices because I didn't feel like my art is worth it, and I was so inexperienced. I had a client who wanted me to put on the packaging for their product, and it was just three simple line arts. I told them it's $5. All that, just $5. They were so unbelievably kind. I sincerely appreciate that, but you sincerely don't have to do that. It's fine. It's just $5. And like, nope, not paying you less than $25. And currently Death Spike is one of my clients who has been unbelievably patient with me, who's been unbelievably kind with me. I am. I'm in my late teens at the time. I was just trying to make some side money for school. And like I said, currently Death Spike is a client of mine. I'm very thankful. I'm extremely... I don't know if there are enough words in the English language of how thankful I am to experience clients like this in my time. Because I know like the most viral stories are the nightmare clients. Like I completely understand why, and that happens. Like the loudest few overshadow the quiet many. Like the Karenettes. Oh my god. Like about or like a very Karen like client. Honestly, if I did, I don't remember. I don't particularly care to remember. Like, if I learned a lesson from that, I'll remember the lesson, but I don't particularly remember the person very much. Like, I prefer to hold on to the memories or thoughts of the extremely kind and sweet clients. So that's what I do.
Times she doesn't seem to really care, so instead I'll draw it and rig it. The rigger would cut all contact with Gami, but Gami would then go ahead and continue hosting raffles anyway.
Is important.
That is crazy. Like, how shameless can you get? We would then see
Okay.
Gami's
your
commission
time.
queue for VGen. This is her queue for paid commissions, right? I pay her money, she puts it in her queue, and this is where I can see the progress. There are commissions that have been there since October 2023 that she
What?
hasn't even begun to work on.
Meets pineapple sweet, where chicken
Yeah,
meets
I
the
don't have
sizzle of
YouTube
the grill,
Premium.
and where
Get over it.
fans
I'm not a
meet their
professional.
favorite. Chicken al pastor, where
Welcome
fire
back,
meets
Bode.
flavor.
As CIO, I brought us from Jira to the entire Atlassian platform. Our PR department.
Section would have yet another unsatisfied customer paying over $1,000 just to get this VTuber model in 3 different outfits. Hot water in a cartoon or something. It looks weird. And finally, just as you've been telling yourself, no, this can't get worse, right? She can't get more shameless than this. Well, the section's called how many studios did she make, man? This is a studio that makes VTuber models and Gami's the artist.
This feels like you know, like how someone it feels like that. It feels like that, but with studios. So I don't publicize this that much anymore, but I'm actually I'm developing my own game and I'm helping my partner develop theirs. And personally, as an artist who's I'm trying to learn how to make my own live 2D model, I can between a 2D model and the 3D model. Personally, I can, because my partner's game is a 3D game, so I'm trying to get used to Blender and everything. Well, it's not this game. This is my hobby for me. It's a hobby for me, but I completely respect people who make it their job. Absolutely, because it's not easy. The time, effort, and then also the rigging to make it look as very lifelike and animated in 3D as possible for a live 2D model. I can understand the price being a little more expensive for a 2D model compared to a 3D model, because there are a lot of, I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of shortcuts you can use in Blender and other like 3D modeling programs compared to 2D. So I can understand the price difference of 2D being more than 3D. But that's just a personal opinion. I find it reasonable.
Fruit Gals, and it was an audition-based VTuber model giveaway with some rules. So look, this was structured in a way to resemble VTuber agencies where you audition, and if you're accepted, you get a VTuber model. You wouldn't get a salary, but you'd keep all your donations, and you'd be part of a group. But if you decide to leave, you obviously can't keep the model. It's owned by the studio. And entirely misled. So essentially, Gami would be posting these updates, right, of these different models that she was drawing up, and they were very excited. But then at some point, the updates would just stop, and Gami would stop communicating.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Well, okay. A bit of a stretch. Real quick. I gotta change my setup because my iPad needs to charge. Because it decided, you know what? You're in the middle of drawing. You're in the middle of streaming. I don't approve. We're gonna stop that now. It's never a VTuber stream if it's not scuffed. Okay. We're gonna pull up the video on my PC now because iPad is sad. No, not YouTube TV. I already give you money. You're not gonna get more money. What is that noise? Oh my god, it sounds like we're in a it sounds like we're in a funnel. Sounds like it's in a fun. Let's see. What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. Do you know what we're doing? Because I don't. I. Oh, that was nightmare fuel. That was a crack and a half. Oh, things I do for love. Oh, no, I completely understand, like, being limited with, like, VTubing. Like, 1,000%. Because back then, I had my cell phone. And I started on... Hey, hey. Because, I mean... Where... I mean... Personally? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that 1,000% understood. Duh. Why didn't I think of this? Bam. Oh, Doki Doki Literature Club. Maybe.
Consistently leaving all the members in the dark
Oh,
for months. Here we can see
sweet.
one of the girls deciding to reach out to raise her concerns on behalf of everyone else in the group, saying, "Hey Gami, I'm sending this message on behalf of me and the girls, and I would like to say that we are all tired of unresponsiveness, lack of communication, broken promise." It genuinely came from a good place, but more importantly, one thing she would say is, "We'd have understood if the models had taken a month to..."
Okay, listen. I am a Y2K, like, 90s, like... Okay, you know what? This fits. This is aesthetically pleasing. This is it. This is it, guys. Take it or leave it.
Finish, but it has now been 8 months. The document would specify the reason why they're saying we would have understood if the models had taken a month to finish, but it has now been 8 months, is because Fawn Studio had posted that they can finish and deliver models in around a week.
That's bullshit. That is made in a week. If this person runs on nothing but... It's possible. But they would have to go max. They'd have to go max level on all of that at once for that to even be remotely possible. How do you do this in my friend group? To be fair, like, everyone else is, like, early 20s, and I'm like... They call me auntie, and I'm like... Dude! Like, it's... Like... Dude! This is... diabolical. What? Like, that's... No. That's the biggest load. Never believe anyone who says that.
That is insane, by the way. Okay, if you want a custom Gami and the rigor involved with the studio would respond. They would both somewhat say the same thing, so let's just read what Gami had to say. "I apologize for the lack of communication. I already have sent them over to blank, which is the rigor. I'm not blaming her in this since she also has her own commissions that she has to work on. Please do keep in mind that Food Gals is a passion project on my end. I do not gain anything from making you models. I understand you, I really do, but I'm booked until September and I'm drawing constantly. For the last model also, I have started drawing her. I don't usually have the time to just sit down for..."
Okay. I guess on this topic, for people who, outside of this specific instance, if there are like people who are genuinely tease, like, outside of this specific circumstance, like, there are people that bite off more than can chew. There are people, like myself included, I've been there, where you take on a project or more than one project at the same time when you already have your hands full out of passion or desire or want for the specific idea. And I know the crushing disappointment of disappointing other people involved in that. But you gotta know your limits. You gotta be realistic about your life, your energy, and your commitments. Your present commitments. Like, oh my god, you have a show bone? That's awesome. Like, yeah, it's like biting off more than you can chew. It's important to know your limits. It's important to know, okay, my present commitment in this area is to finish the commissions that people have priority over starting a new project with a new studio for making VTuber models for an entire group. That person to handle. And even though from this, she seems to be the sole artist and the other person is just the rigger. It's, no, I completely understand. Props to anyone trying to animate. I can't. Wish I could, but can't. It's, I just wish, I feel bad for people who have a genuine passion and they bite off more than they can chew. They genuinely had a heart in the right place and then they just overestimated themselves on what they could handle. I feel bad. I genuinely do. So that's why it's important to evaluate yourself properly. Go from an unbiased perspective and analyze your current priorities before taking on more.
I was hoping to finish her later this month since I'm done with my year for school. Nobody lied about anything. I told you guys from the start that I would do my best and I'm doing so. I still am sorry that you guys felt not cared for. I never wanted this. All I wanted was to be able to help you guys grow and make content the way you guys wish to make. The document would then say, but after this, again, there were no updates. A couple months later, on August 1st, 2025, we'd see two messages from both girls separately saying, hey, I'm out. Okay, this is clearly not happening. I don't want to do this anymore. And Gami wouldn't even bother replying. So look, by now, this wasn't just about AI anymore. This was about Gami being a bad person to work with, very badly treating some of her clients, and having this habit of empty promises, of doing these giveaways that she never honored. At this point, she was officially a compulsive liar in the eyes of the community. There was nothing she could say.
Oh, I'm so sorry about. Yeah, I can understand how that can be a lot for anybody. I hope you well in the future for your animation project and everything. And I hope you know that the hard work that you did put in, even though you like had to always meant something and it still means something. Even if it's not in your hands anymore, your effort and the time and passion you put into it never went to waste.
That would make anyone believe her. This is when her viral post saying that maybe I'm for her drawings. Like, straight up.
Did not mince any words, did not waste any language. Hey.
No bullshit. She uses AI. Shut the fuck up. Linking Ruru's initial Twitter post and the first Google document we went through, obliterating her reputation, her career, her online presence in just one sentence. Very few community notes can compare.
Everyone who has bit off more than can chew and had to step away from something they were passionate. Passion and your effort, it was never meaningless. It always has meaning and it always matters to somebody. Because just being able to see the passion in the ideas that a person has, that you have, and showing that little tiny spoiler, but my partner is making his own comic book. He's been working on it since he was 11, and he has never stopped working on it. And when he posted on Instagram some like previews of the cover and everything, He even has photos with some fans who saw his comic book on Insta and wanted pictures with him. They were genuine fans of his series. That doesn't mean that it's not appreciated, it's not loved. It does have a place in someone's heart. It is it's very much. I've seen my partner put in a ton of work and time and effort into it, even when balancing 2 jobs and school. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, but it's also a lot of passion. And I'm supporting 1,000% whenever they need me. I'm there. That actually sounds like a very fun passion. I genuinely think that sounds like a very fun passion. It's just unreasonable. I think the biggest thing is, one, to do everything right away, wanting to jump in and have everything finished as soon as possible and immediately doing what you love. But sometimes it takes time to get the thing, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you are failing in a sense. It doesn't mean you are less than other people in a sense. It takes time, but you are willing to put in the effort. You are willing to put in the passion for what it means to you. So if it takes a year instead of a month, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, of setting a pace that's right for you.
To the savagery here. But of course, you might be wondering, what about Gami herself? Does she have a response? I mean, she clearly saw this. She got community noted very humiliatingly. What did she have to say? And how did it manage to make things fix? One day after the second Google Doc had dropped, saying, I have done a speed paint to address the AI allegations. This was done completely live on Twitch with a full display screen showing my entire process. The link to the VOD is down below. I'm aware of the other things being said and everything will be addressed soon. There's a lot to go over and I want to make sure I address everything. This has been a lot to take in, so I thank you for your patience. The top reply here that almost ratioed her would say, no one is denying you can draw. You draw very well. The thing is, none of this is reflected on these. And it's scummy to say you are against AI when admitting to have been making drawings very heavily AI referenced.
I'm really sorry you had to go through that, Bone. And I hope you know that those people are pathetic. They are rude. And regardless if a work is not their cup of tea, no one deserves to receive threats to cause mental breakdowns like that. And I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Just say in your profile use AI as part of your process. Additionally, even during her stream, it would be clear that she was using AI references to draw the thighs. You can see this right here. This was on her own monitor. It didn't help. If anything, it only made things worse. Facing even more backlash after that disastrous stream, Gami would quote tweet the second document that Ruru had written and would say, sorry for the wait, linking her own Google Doc.
Oh, absolute AI completely dog water. Like, dog water. Hooked. But, you know, it's what's best for you. If it's what's best for you, then that's what's important.
I had to calm down before I made a statement on the matters at hand. I would like to start by apologizing to all my clients that feel wronged by me using AI as reference for their artworks. I'll be transparent in my art processes going forward and have clear communication with my clients to make sure they're satisfied with the commissions they will be getting. If any of my current ongoing commissions that they will feel more secure about their
No, I heard SOAR AI is shutting down. I mean, like, duh. With all the stuff it was causing.
Commission, that's where the sentence ends. That's literally where the sentence ends. Like, there's literally a fucking period at the end. Okay, well, English is not her first language, but Hessies, I will also be posting them on YouTube as an unlisted playlist, so there will be a record of all the work I will be doing. This is not an excuse. I've been really busy with real life stuff in school, and some of my work has been rushed because of this. I've been very irresponsible with my scheduling and will be getting help on my scheduling moving forward. I'm also thankful for people who have patiently waited for their commissions. I'm sorry.
Okay. On the topic of SOAR AI, I will admit, I will admit there were funny moments. One thing I found entertaining was There was this one where it's like a baby interview. Like they were interviewing babies on the street. I don't know. It's stupid, but I don't know. I giggled.
So look, not only was this response grammatically a disaster, it was a disaster in and of itself. It didn't address anything. It was very vague, and I mean, you don't have to listen to me say this. Ruru said it themselves. AI-assisted work without knowing. If rebuilding trust is the goal, taking full accountability is the first step to do that. I believe those situations should be acknowledged and refunded properly as well. That's a very good point. What about the raffle winners? What about the people that you gave empty promises to? What's ironic here is that she wasn't quote tweeting the first document, she was quote tweeting the other document that talks about her terrible communication with clients, with the raffle winners. I mean, honestly, at this point, deleting your account would have been better than.
Oh my god. I don't know if anyone. So actually, I don't know if anyone has seen the show Girl from Nowhere on Netflix. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere else, but I know it's on Netflix. I was gonna, I was gonna, in honor of the new season coming out, I was going to be a femboy from Nowhere in The Sims 4. I love this show so much, and I'm like, you know what? POV, I'm a femboy from Nowhere.
Putting this Google Doc out to the public. Like, what the hell is this? 100,000 views and barely any interaction. People were done with this. They had already made up their minds. The proof was there, and there was nothing she could do except take accountability, and she failed to do even that. On the original quote tweet that Ruru had made, with the initial document exposing Gami, you'd see many people that have interacted with her, but now this was over. This is not someone they wanted anything to do with. After this whole debacle, Gami would continue posting on her Twitter. And yes, it does seem like she's not using AI. It does seem like it was, drawn actually by her, but the trust is lost. No accountability means no forgiveness. And it's going to be very hard for her to build back up what she already had. This is especially considering that her VGen got suspended. She can't take commissions anymore, and she's essentially lost the fan base that she had taken years to build. Look, I can't predict the future. I don't know where we'll be years from now, and I don't know whether there will be a day where society will actually accept AI as a whole. However, if you want to use AI as reference, or hell, as very heavy inspiration to your art, at least specify that. At least.
I feel like that's the biggest takeaway. Like, it's unknown if anyone's ever going to actually accept AI art, if it's actually going to be able to at any point, but, yeah, disclosing is very important. I feel like that's the main takeaway. Also, yeah, I can totally do, like, a basic overlay. Yeah, I can do a basic overlay. I can still, I can do a basic overlay. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, well, welcome to VTubing. I think it's fine being new and everything. I mean, personally, I've seen videos on YouTube that are like, oh my god, that was actually, bro. The terrible AI Will Smith, that was peak entertainment. But like, I don't, oh, the orange and white one? Okay. Something like that I can do, yeah. Honestly, that's all you really need. If you're really like starting out, I recommend either a pre-made model or a PNG tuber model. True. But like, it starting out, because when I first started VTubing, lore time, I was in a car accident and I couldn't work. So I was at home. Obviously, everyone else in my family that I was living with at the time were at work. They were out or at school or something. So I started VTubing on reality. yeah, I started VTubing on reality. I couldn't leave the house to go see my friends or anything, and they were already busy with their lives, so that's how I got started. And then I moved to YouTube and Twitch, and yeah, it's where you start is where you start. It doesn't matter, really. It's like whatever is your comfort level. And oh, yes. Okay. Sorry. I'm okay. That was like, I want to say 2022, 2023 when that happened. So I am okay, perfectly fine. I'm no lasting injuries. I'm good. Oh my God. Okay, also another lore story. So I hurt my leg in it. I'm okay. I'm okay now. Perfectly fine. But at the time, it hurt a lot, so they gave me morphine. They gave me morphine in the hospital. And my sibling was there, and they took, they took a video of me saying happy birthday to my best friend. And it was, they were just like, happy birthday. Happy birthday, best friend. I love you. And I was like, happy birthday. And my sibling was like, their birthday is next month. And I'm like, happy birthday. And it's just like, it's not their birthday. Happy birthday. And sent it to them. And oh my God. It I saw the video afterwards. It was very funny. It's good memories. Good memories.
Be honest about that. If someone's willing to pay for that, then hey, good on them. It's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. But don't pretend to be someone you're not, because that's just what a scammer does. And you don't want to be labeled as a scammer, because if you are, you end up like Gami. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you want to see actual amazing art that is not AI.
Hell yeah, Mugen. But you have a filling? Oh, good luck. 3 fillings? Yeah, good luck. Like, there's so many different ways they could give you, like, something to numb the pain, like anesthetic. And oh, yeah, absolutely, I can do that. Yeah, no, yeah, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all. Like, it's your commission. I took it on, and I'm doing my best. And that is not difficult at all. And oh my God. Yeah. When I had a dental procedure, they gave like numbing gel. Like the I completely understand being terrified of needles. Ooh, some spike lore. Awesome video, Mugen, as always. Setting the standards. But I mean, I went through 2 different procedures. One wasn't with a needle, and the other one was with like a numbing gel. The numbing gel. Oh. Oh God. That must suck. Oh my God. I saw someone talking about no, I can't remember where I saw it, but there was a meme I saw where someone oh my God, that's actually a very fun fact. I like that. Someone went through a procedure and they had anesthesia, and they had an epidural instead of the gas because it didn't work that way for them. And they and they like it went straight to their brain, and they were like, "Oh fuck yeah!" And the surgeons and the doctors in the room were just they were so confused, they froze, they didn't know what they didn't know what to do. God bless. Oh my God. That's absolutely insane and diabolical. The things the world that happen in the world on payments, hilarious. Uh, anyway, I know this is like a super like. Oh my god. Oh dear. Well, I hope you're okay now. God, that must have been terrifying. Like, I'm sorry. Does anyone know where of that meme where the little kid who's on morphine, I think he's at the dentist, and he's singing that one song from, I think it's Defying Gravity from Wicked, and he just holds that note like nobody's business. I found that to be the funniest thing in the world. Oh god. Oh, I know this is, yeah, decades, 10 years. Oh my god. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'll probably stream tomorrow. I'm gonna go look at that meme when I get off now. I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.